I'm Barbara Dacey from mvyradio, and we're at Cisco Ottawa Bluesfest, trying to get far enough away from the root stage. Hopefully we can make ourselves known over this band. The band Crooked Still just played on the root stage, and I'm here with Aoife and Corey and Greg. How you guys?
We're doing fantastic.
So did you just come into town for this? Are you on tour right now?
Well, we're kind of on a fairly long, sort of extended world tour that started on May 16th in Denmark and took us to Scotland and England and Ireland, California, and then Tennessee, and then into Canada a couple days ago.
Have you played in Canada before?
A lot, yeah. I mean, just yesterday we were playing in Quebec City at the 400th anniversary of Quebec City, and last year we played at like a whole pile of Canadian festivals in Winnipeg and Calgary and Edmonton.
And Aoife, very nice to meet you. We realized that we grew up just down the street from each other in Wellesley and West Newton. So tell us a little bit about, I mean, you studied classical, you studied voice classically, is that right?
I studied sort of jazz and improvisation. I studied classical voice when I was in high school, but I have a degree in contemporary improvisation from New England Conservatory of Music, which sort of is focused on sort of the classical music as well as jazz and improvisation. So Corey and I both have that same degree from NEC.
Oh, really? Oh, great. Is that where you met each other?
That is where we met each other, in klezmer band. We were in a klezmer band together before we realized we loved American bluegrass and decided to play that as well.
That's great. It's so interesting when we go to these festivals, and a lot of times we'll meet people from back home far away. You know, like we're in Ottawa, and here we're meeting you guys from New England. Greg, nice to meet you too. How did you get involved in Crooked Still?
Well, I met these guys when I was a graduate student in the MIT Department of Biology and playing a lot of banjo on the side in the Boston area. So the acoustic community is small enough that all the acoustic musicians in any given town just sort of find each other eventually. So luckily I found the other guys who eventually became Crooked Still.
So you've just released an album, a new album, Still Crooked. Very, very cool. Tell us about the making of the record. Was it an easy go, or a lot of effort, or how'd it go?
It was. I mean, any album there's some effort involved, obviously, but it was a really sort of natural, organic process for this record, especially. We recorded it pretty much all live. 4 out of the 5 band members were actually in one room, the Neve room at Alaire Studios, which is just one of the most gorgeous places ever to record. So all the instrumentalists were in one room, and I was in another, sort of looking at them through glass doors. And it's pretty live. I mean, it has a pretty live setting. The engineer and this producer were also in that room. So it was just sort of made for this totally different recording experience than any of us had ever been involved in before. And we're really proud of the new record. It features 13 songs and 2 originals by the band and a bunch of old, super old traditional songs that a lot of people haven't heard for years. So we're excited.
Yeah, it's nice that you mix it up like that, and the album's on Signature Sounds. So when you the idea of the band to be kind of really bluegrass but progressive at the same time, was that the idea from the start?
Well, I always like to steal Greg's line for this, but the sound of Crooked Still and sort of the way we came to the band, both in terms of the repertoire that we play and in sort of the self-styling of it, is really more of a discovery than it was an invention. It wasn't like we set out to have this band with a cello and a banjo and it just sort of happened to be that we were all friends and we liked playing together, and the band sort of evolved from that and from the scene that was in Boston at the time, the environment. And so we sort of discovered it rather than sort of thought it up,
That's fantastic. Thanks, you guys. It's really great. I know you got to move along, and it was great to spend a little time with you. Crooked Still. I'm Barbara Dacey at the Cisco Ottawa Bluesfest for mvyradio.